Given the amateur sports demonstration that we just saw, are we going to see a restoration of the kind of sports funding that you guys cut back in the last fiscal year?
Well, I think what you'll see in the budget documents is some documentation about the amount of sports funding that was issued by the province over the last number of years, as well as going forward. And there were some areas where funding for amateur sports was reduced. There were other areas that I think really didn't get the profile that they deserved in the past year. But I think that for those that are interested in sport and want to make sure that this province has a strong amateur sport program, I think they'll be pleased tomorrow.
Colin, when you talk about being in the ball
previously in sport,
I'm sorry?
Do you regret, now you've seen how buoyant Canadians are for our athletic success, do you regret some of the cuts your government made to sporting programs?
Well, I think there were some things around some of the direct access grants, and we've come through a very, very challenging year. And I think that it was incumbent upon governments to look across the spectrum of discretionary spending and find ways that we could tighten our belt, and we did that. And unfortunately, you can't succeed in keeping everybody happy in doing that. So this budget tomorrow is going to, it's still going to be a belt-tightening budget, but I think we've been able to find areas that we can save money that really ensure that we maximize the benefit to individual British Columbians and make sure that the dollars are focused on frontline services.
How is the organization funded normally?
Well, we have a wide variety of funding sources. You have to have diversified funding nowadays, so obviously a portion from government and a portion from granting agencies and donations and sponsorship and self-generated funds, but sort of, I'd say an even mix of funding from our variety of sources.
Did you see any cutbacks?
Yeah.
Did you see any cutbacks in the last fiscal year?
We were fortunate with gaming because we had a 3-year license, and so we did not get cut this year. We're not too sure what next year is going to look like. We're cautiously optimistic.
You expect to find out tomorrow or the next week or so?
I hope so. It's important for us to find out very soon because we have decisions we need to make in our organization as far as our programs and services that we deliver. So we have Plan A and Plan B, and we'll see what happens.
What did you think of all the cutbacks that were made to amateur sport in the past fiscal year?
Well, it's a bit of a challenge, I think, for the system. Obviously, when you just go through a major event like we had this past 2 weeks or 17 days and leading up to the Paralympics, and we see the benefits of sport and physical activity and the national pride that it brought, and just all these kinds of things, it would be a shame to not keep the momentum going and continue to invest. So we know that government is really supportive of sport and understands the value of recreation and activity, physical activity, so we're hopeful.